and everything looks good. So I guess the thing I actually need to chuck back together is this bolt. So I think we maybe should start with greasing the things I want greased and oiled. So what I'm gonna do first and foremost is spray some of this oil in here, just so my oil doesn't go everywhere, because for some reason when I do oil work, y'all don't get to see it because obviously the video switches off, but bruv, when I do oil work, it's almost like everything on the table is oily, and I'm like, how? I on purposely kept things out the way to avoid this, like how? So yeah, so what I'm gonna do is go into the bolt, and similar to like a high capper, this little rubbery plasticky bit, I'm gonna kind of try and, some could say flood it with oil, but you don't really want it flooded, you just want it oily, because that's where your actual nozzle is going to be running over. So if it has any kind of friction, it's just going to cause your nozzle problems, right? And if your nozzle has problems, so does basically everything else, because your nozzle is what feeds your round and also what outlets the air to do that shot fire action. Do you get it? So I've kind of got that oily. Let's try and get that greasy as well as oily, because we're gonna need something helping that grease, that oil, sorry, run it along. Some people, I know some people's gonna be ripping their hair out watching me doing this, like, oh, you're flooding it, you've got too much. But stop worrying about me, bruv. It's my shit. Like, let me do what I want to do with my shit. You don't have to copy me. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do with your AAP. I just thought I'd film this because I have mates who tech and they would disagree with everything I'm saying, but I promise you 9 out of 10 I bet you this runs better than your gun, and I'll actually call you out on it. If you see me, not that like it has to be a wall, but come on man, we're fellow airsofters. You can draw me out on this if you want. When you see me, ask me and say, let's do shoot testing, let's do reliability testing, and we'll see. I bet you any money my gun is more reliable than yours. I should probably stop here, you know, because I want to grease the whole bolt, but I need to get the system back together, if you get what I mean. What can I rest it on? I need it to rest on something. Let's rest it on this bucket I'm gonna throw away. Just sit for me. There we are. What am I trying to do? So there was a nozzle spring, so let's do that. Nozzle spring goes right back on here. And we do want to kind of circulate that back on so it sits on. So we're gonna spin, get it all the way back down there. Great, cool. And then we're gonna screw that back in. But I guess before we do that, I think I have to slide that in, I guess. I know again they're probably going to be ripping out their hair watching this, but to my knowledge I think that's how you do it. That goes in first and then this goes in after. And then before we do that though, I'm sure the nozzle goes in first. So yeah, let me pause for a second, put that back there, and do my grease work to the nozzle as well. So what I tend to do is drop some of this well in here. Not a lot, but you don't want in there bone dry. That's something I've come to learn, especially because that's the bit sliding over your thing. But I found that you don't also want that to be greasy. You want it to be more oily than greasy, because the grease sticks, and obviously the whole point of putting nozzle springs in is because you don't want stick. Whereas you see the outer layer of your nozzle, I found this with high cappers a lot. If you see, like now it's greasy but it's oily, it's a mixture of the both, not one more than the other on the outside. And that's because you want your nozzle to move because of the grease, but you also, because of the oil is giving it that slippery effect. whereas the grease is acting like a buffer to slide things as well. So it's like you're getting the best of both worlds. And I find that the team members who let me do this to their guns need less maintenance, if that makes sense. So where the guys who don't do this, they have to bring it back let's say like once every 2 months or so. The guys who tend to do this, I see their guns probably like once every 6 months, because they do this, and between games just top up grease, and they tend to be alright. So try it if you want, but you don't have to try it. It's not by force. Did you get it? And also the other thing to keep in mind, because I know some people be like, oh, but you told me to do it and it didn't work out. And so I will say this, like, if you're gonna try it, make sure your grease and your oil is grease and oil that you can trust. The one I'm using is one that I whip up myself, so I trust it. I know that it does what I want it to do, which is why we don't want that on my bolt. Yeah, it's one that I trust because it's been tried and tested in multiple platforms and seasons. So I'm going to slide that spring back in, and then we're just screwing everything back together. Yeah, it's been tried and tested, so I can stand on it. There's a few good brands, so I'm not saying it like, oh, you have to buy mine, but yeah, if you're gonna judge my work that I do, or the feedback I give, or the advice I give, use the right thing. That's the one thing I say. You make sure you're using the right thing. So I can't be judged if you're using some shit grease, like. So what I'm gonna do is line that up, so that's all in place. Test that that's working. Probably just pull this forwards a few times just to make sure. Oh, the tension on that is lovely. Lovely. It's almost like it doesn't want to. Yeah, I love that, because then you know it's gonna perform well. That's a good sign. I think I might add some grease to that, because I did clean it originally, which would have removed any oil and grease that was on that spring, and we're gonna want that to stay hydrated and not start clinking up, especially in a platform where the tension is so high. And then now all I'm doing is basically going back to my grease. I do have a bit of oil on there, but more so my grease is what I'm trying to chuck on the boat, because the grease again is going to act as like a buffer, and the oil is going to just act as like the lubrication to keep everything kind of moist, to keep operating in that way that we want it to. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to collect out this pot grease, more grease, but I'm trying to, as I collect the grease, trying to collect some oil with it, just to make sure that that buffer, so it's not just greasy, because if it's greasy this won't work properly also. So that's something to keep in mind, and that's also something to really keep in mind if you go for like these cool colors like what I have here, like the rainbow thing or stuff like that, because the materials look cool, but that layer of paint or whatever it is that they use, it's not the most slidey thing. It doesn't like to slide. So I know again some people are going to be like, oh, you're doing way too much, but brother, I teched this gun 2 years ago, and I remember what it was like. It took me about an hour to understand how this bolt cycles properly. Not because I'm a donut, but it's because the material's so different from other AEPs. Like if you go by the Galaxy, the bolt is easy to understand. It's heavy metal. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So once you understand how heavy metal works, it's kind of easy to get your bolt to cycle every single time. Whereas with this, the bolt is so light, but the material the bolt is made out of is what makes it complex, because it looks nice, but it probably isn't the best thing for cycling. I think maybe some of the newer bolt system materials are probably a bit better from what I've heard and seen, but never really owned them myself, so I can't really speak on it. And at the moment what I'm just doing is adding some oil and grease to the rail system on the inside where the bolt is gonna fly, because obviously I don't want to cause unnecessary friction or anything that's gonna kind of like just stop the bolt from functioning correct, if that makes sense. Add some more grease to it, then oil. And I know a lot of people will disagree, but I will always say it because grease sits, it's almost like a stick, you know, like Vaseline. Grease reminds me of Vaseline. It's like, it's gonna do its job, it's gonna keep you oily and make things slide, but it gets sticky after a little while. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas with oil, like a oily, with oil, let me put it that way, oil doesn't work the same way. It can get sticky, but it doesn't get sticky in the concept of the way like the Vaseline does get sticky. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, we've got that back in, so I'm literally putting my iron sight back on, and then we're going to chuck these 2 last screws back in. And if I'm correct, as long as that cycles, I think we're done here. I'm missing a screw on that CTM rail, but I can fix that tomorrow. Because I just want to get the gun to function first, and then I'll do things like fine-tune things. And do you get what I'm saying? I might even change out the whole bolt system and go for a whole new color scheme. But I think for the moment, I want to see what this AAP platform's about, because obviously now this is probably the first deep dive teching I've done on a platform, and it's kind of interesting when you do tech something for yourself, because it's a whole different experience. If I was teching a project for a client, it would be different. Not that I'd be rushing, but I wouldn't take time in some areas, and some areas I wouldn't be so playful, and I wouldn't have certain opinions because I'm trying to go with the client's opinion and just only have a tech idea. So if, you know what I'm saying, it's very different when you work on something for yourself, as opposed to, yes, it's similar in the concept that you take the knowledge over, yes, but it's very different in the way you work on the project. Because if I was doing this for somebody else, I'd probably make a few changes, whereas because it's for me, I'm like, bruv, I just want to run the gun first before I do anything to it, because somebody's already spent 400 quid on CTM bits. Do you get it? It's like, let's see how these bits all perform together. And if you notice, I've just gone and went and chucked a Fortran bucking in there, and it's already got a maple leaf bucking, and it's already got an eye key put in there. So do you get what I'm saying? It's like, it's the platform's at a good place. Like, I probably need to chill. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to see this in like some kind of kit system or something like that, just to see how it, yeah man, I'd love to run this in like a SMG kind of kit, but that's a whole 80 quid I think that kit is, so I wouldn't really want to spend that money and not be sure about the platform just yet. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah man, I guess this is gonna be the thing me and you guys work on together. And what I will do is torque that screw a little more, just to make sure. Oh, that's really torques. So one thing is, you don't want your selector switch to be loose, bro. That is a very dark experience. And I think we will chuck some oil in here as well, just to make sure that as them hammer parts are turning in here and working, you're not having any functionality issues because something is too dry or there's no grease on it. And then we want that greasy because there's a trigger bar down there, trigger spring, sorry, down there. Plus I removed all the grease earlier. Okay. I'm definitely gonna have to wash my mat tomorrow. The amount of oil I've spilt on this damn thing today. And then last but not least, we're literally just gonna chuck that, slot that back onto the body. And I get it, it's not that hard, it's just annoying because the hop wheel is, yeah, it's in an awkward place. It's there, but you'd have to like squeeze your hand in it or have a tool to, yeah, I'll find it because I still need to work out what FPS is first, and then what weight I want to run, and I also need to work out what's the max radius this barrel will give me, because there's no point running fours if the max radius this barrel will give me is 30 meters. You get it? It doesn't make no sense. But maple leaf tend to, especially with this barrel, my poor brain, I can't remember the name of the barrel, but Crazy Jet, there we are. It's because I'm tired. It is now 5 o'clock, 5:08. I used to have that in a TM high capper, and the thing used to shoot 40 meters, so I don't really want to set the bar too high for this thing, because then if it doesn't deliver, I'm going to be upset. But I would be over the moon if it did 40 meters. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, that boat is cycling like a fucking bad bitch now. Do you get it? So I guess it was a good idea opening it, because that's the way I want the gun to cycle. Whereas when I first was doing all of this, it wasn't cycling like that. So I hope you guys can see that. Just a little TLC on projects that you buy second hand go a long way. Just gonna clear up some of that dust. But yeah, I actually really like it. I think I am gonna chuck a flashlight on it though. Let's see how that flashlight looks. And I think I can, in theory I can take my gloves off now, right? Yeah, because this oil is starting to annoy my fingers a bit. Okay. So let's slide this over. I'm not gonna lie, it feels nice there. So I guess this is my CTM high capper, people. Welcome me to the not high capper. You see, I'm still stuck in a high capper, man. My CTM AAP-01 custom build. There's still some things I want to do, like there's so many new grips on the market now. I probably will change out this grip. So if I can find somebody to buy the grip for a decent amount, I'll probably change out the grip. The trigger, I like the fact it's customizable, so I'll probably leave it. And if you look, yeah, like I kind of like that. It gives me enough travel. Yeah, it gives me enough travel, but I could, your follow-up shots would be nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it for the moment. I'll adjust it as I see fit further down the line. I'm tempted to put a red dot on it, but every time I aim down sight, I can see this back red dot and this, not red dot, iron sights. I can see the iron sights, and I'm like, they kind of work really well, so maybe just leave it. But then I can see my brain saying things like, why don't you take off the rail? And I know the answer to that, because I might want to run red dot. So just leave it. So I think we're gonna call it here and just say, yeah, thank you for going on that journey with me, with my AAP-01. I'm actually quite excited, you know, like that was quite easy to do. And look at that return. That return is wicked. So I can only imagine. Let me see, do I have a Glock mag? The problem is I'm spraying the HPA adapter, so I can't even show you it on HPA right now. And I don't even know, this is not my mag, this is somebody else's mag, so let's hope that it doesn't make my gun look shit. But ooh, did you see that? Snappy. Yeah, that alone should tell you that's auto and then semi. I like that. I'm over the moon about that. Obviously I don't think there is a safety, but I think that's like Glock, so your safety would be putting it there, because then you've got no way to fire until you engage again, and then you're active again. I do really like this gun. It's not, who knows, maybe this might be the high capper killer, because I like the fact I can rack it. It's lightweight, only the bolt's moving, so there's literally zero recoil. The tracer unit screws directly onto the barrel, so you don't have none of that barrel movement or weight on your barrel. I kind of like it, so we'll see. I'll run it for a month, I'll see how I get on. Plus I've got a flashlight on it, so you can't really go wrong unless you mess with them. But yeah, like I said, thanks for coming on this journey with me. Wish me luck, and if you guys have any advice, I'm here for it, because I am new to this platform. So just like I would be giving you guys advice on your high cappers, give me some advice on my AAP-01. But please don't tell me nothing about change the color. I like the color. I just think there's so much more grips on the market, and I'm a grip guy. Like, I like a nice grip, so I probably will sell this grip to somebody and buy another one. But I'll see how I get on, because I do like it. Just feels nice in hand. When I don't look at the grip, it doesn't bother me. It's the, I don't know, maybe the ergonomics of this compared to what's on the market. I'm a bit jealous of what's on the market. But yeah, until the next one, people, like, share, subscribe, and may that be a lesson. I actually am like if I'm allowed to say it without anyone saying I'm cocky, I'm a half decent tech. I just took it down and put it back together. Like, come on. But yes, until the next one, peeps, we're out.